In the long history of true crime, murder, and social media are a relatively recent mix, but already the cases that combine these two elements could fill a book. Crimes committed live, clues found in Facebook posts, photos of bodies posted online. And if you followed any of the cases that combine murder with the popular social media platform TikTok, you may already know about the case of William Durham at the hands of 18-year-old Zachary Latham. Zachary was known for taunting William Durham's family online. But was Durham killed in a callous grab for TikTok fame, or was it self-defense? And do you know the twists and turns of what happened next? Also, you should know that the court cases connected to these crimes are still ongoing, so you're going to hear the word allegedly a lot. That's to cover our butts so we don't get sued. Allegedly. Zachary Latham was 16 years old when he moved into his grandparents' house in Vineland, New Jersey. He immediately got off on the wrong foot in the neighborhood when he started driving recklessly, allegedly speeding through a residential neighborhood at almost 100 miles per hour. I mean, we say allegedly, but he also posted videos of it on TikTok. When Zachary's neighbors, William and Catherine Durham, complained to his grandparents about the dangerous driving, they probably thought the message got across. After all, Zachary showed up at their doorstep with a letter of apology. Some now say that this letter was only written by Zachary because his grandparents made him do it. The dangerous driving certainly didn't stop. Zachary continued to film himself driving recklessly, posting the videos online. Zach had a pretty moderate online following. Most of his videos had less than 150 views. All of that changed the day Zachary was confronted by Catherine Durham over his driving. He recorded the interaction where he repeatedly called her a Karen for criticizing him.
What are you gonna do, Karen?
That's not my name, so get my name straight. Go ahead.
You okay, Karen? Go ahead, get my tag.
Let's go.
Get my tag, Karen.
My name is not Karen, so get my name straight.
Get my tag, it's okay.
A45MFA.
This video was different than Zachary's previous posts. It got 3 million views. His new followers cheered Zachary on, telling him to slash her tires and to go after her. This is when some claim that Zachary began to deliberately bait the Durhams, looking for more content. He drove by the Durhams' house after his big hit.
And he yells out the window, hey Karen, we went viral on TikTok.
Zachary had escalating altercations with the Durhams. He continued to drive recklessly and post videos of the family as they grew more and more frustrated. Allegedly, Zachary at one point posted a picture of himself holding a gun with a caption that said, "This is how you handle neighbors," though the post was later deleted. The Durhams eventually took their complaints about Zachary's reckless driving to the police. Stunningly, they were told that their complaint could not be filed. The Vineland courts were closed due to COVID-19. It kind of makes you wish that you were in Vineland during the pandemic. What's their town slogan? Welcome to Vineland. Go ahead and steal some shit. I'm just saying. Zachary even posted a video on TikTok of a police officer in his neighborhood confirming that he wouldn't be taking any action against Zachary, in spite of having seen video evidence. It's unclear which incident he is talking about.
But you won't do anything even though you saw video proof, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
For your video, that is correct.
Thank you. Say what's up, TikTok.
TikTok?
Yeah, say what's up.
With no help from the police, the Durhams were increasingly frustrated. The straw that broke the camel's back came on May 4th, 2020, when Zachary allegedly swerved his truck off the road towards Durham's teenage son, who was on his bike. Later that day, William and Catherine Durham confronted Zachary about the alleged attack on their son. They pulled their car in front of his truck, stopping him in his tracks. Catherine went to the driver's side window. This time, she was the one recording the conversation. That tape is not publicly available, but according to the New York Times, it shows Zachary throwing out an elbow, knocking Catherine's phone out of her hand before he races away towards his home. This time, the Durhams followed him. The two sons arrived at Zachary's house first. In the front yard, they met Sarah Latham, Zachary's wife. By the way, yes, you heard that right, and you don't have the timeline confused. Zachary Latham was 18 years old at this point and married. Sarah was allegedly already prepared with the video camera on her phone rolling and ready for action. She told the Durhams that they better back up and they were not gonna like what's coming out. Sure enough, as William and Catherine arrived moments later, Zachary Latham came out of his house. He was carrying a 4-inch knife and a stun gun. None of the Durhams had weapons. On the video that Sarah recorded, she and Zachary both told the Durhams to get off their property. Then Zachary shot the stun gun at the Durham's eldest son and swung the knife at him. Seeing his son attacked, William Durham lunged at Zachary. There was a tussle. Sarah screamed at her husband to drop the knife, and then William was down. He had been stabbed and grazed multiple times. Zachary was the one who called the police. See if you can spot the oh-so-subtle differences between the reality of the situation and what he told the cops. Police arrived at 7:48 p.m. William was pronounced dead at 9:19 p.m. He had been stabbed under the armpit and the knife punctured his lung.
911, where's your emergency? There's blood all over the place. I just got assaulted and jumped.
Are you the one that got stabbed?
No, that was the other victim, but I got beat up really bad and I have blood all over me.
All right, so you're at 2986 Thornhill as well?
Yes.
All right, and you want an ambulance?
I don't know.
All right, the people who did it to you, are they still there?
They came with trucks, came on my property with guns, and then when I fought them off, they drove away.
All right, how are you injured, sir?
My windpipe was crushed in, and I got stomped out and choked by like 10 people.
All right, and where are you bleeding from?
I don't know. There's blood all over me. I don't even know if it's cut. There's blood all over our garage.
Zachary, in turn, was brought to a medical center and treated for a concussion and mild abrasions. Okay, so here's where online opinion splits. If you're on Team Zachary, the way you can tell the story is, yes, this kid is obnoxious, and yes, he's guilty of being a real dick. But on the other hand, he told the Durhams to leave his property more than once before finally defending himself and said property. You don't have to like Zachary Latham to acknowledge that he has a right to defend himself. That's the reason that after the death of her husband, Catherine Durham and her sons were charged with assault and criminal trespass. On the other hand, if you're on Team Durham, you would tell the story like this. This kid had been harassing the Durhams with increasing hostility for 2 years. The police told them flat out that they wouldn't help. So the family finally went to confront Zachary on his own property. Because when they confronted him elsewhere, he recorded them, knocked phones out of their hands, and sped away. That day in the yard, everyone in the Durham family had clearly empty hands, no weapons at all.
It's not self-defense. If it was self-defense, he would have entered the house and never came back out, and he would have called the police.
That's the reason that Zachary Latham has been charged with aggravated assault and manslaughter. There is a third theory, and it's the one being used against Zachary in trial. He had already proven that he liked setting the Durhams up to be harassed and then posting the videos online. His videos of Catherine had already given him a lot of attention and praise. Prosecutors claimed that Zachary deliberately lured Durhams to the house where his wife was already filming and ready to go, because he wanted to create more viral content. In other words, prosecutors are alleging that William Durham died because Zachary Latham wanted to be TikTok famous. Which of these three interpretations do you agree with? Is Zachary a young punk who nevertheless was justly defending his property? Was it a highly unnecessary use of force in an otherwise non-threatening situation? Or was the whole thing a ploy for likes gone horribly wrong? All three theories are duking it out in court and in the court of public attention. You might believe that Zachary's actions were self-defense, even if you're not a big fan of his personality. But speaking of that personality, it gets worse. Zachary was not required to stay in jail as he awaited his trial. The judge believed he was not in danger of harming anyone, so Zachary moved to Florida. There, he began talking about the case on Instagram and TikTok. He actively engaged with his commenters online, and one of them posted Catherine Durham's home address, allegedly so that she could be harassed by more of Zachary's other fans. In August 2020, a motion was filed to stop everyone involved in the case from making statements in public forums. The motion passed, but Zachary allegedly just set up new accounts under a new name and continued talking about the case. When prosecutors found out, they filed a motion to revoke Zachary's leave and keep him in jail and off the internet until the trial. That's when the final twist of weirdness took place. On January 23, 2021, a motorist in Florida was rammed in his vehicle and then threatened with what looked like an AK-47. When police tracked down the car that had rammed him, it was being driven by Zachary Latham. The AK-47 was a very convincing-looking BB gun. Zachary was shipped back to New Jersey, where he is now awaiting his trial behind bars. In the William Durham case, he is being indicted on charges of aggravated assault, possession of a firearm for unlawful purpose, unlawful possession of a weapon, and reckless manslaughter. The Durham family is still charged with assault and criminal trespass. Presumably, the conviction of the family would overturn Zachary's charges and vice versa. But we may have to wait a long time to find out. After all, the coronavirus is still ongoing, so we're not sure yet if Vineland courts are open again. But if you live in Vineland, maybe go steal some shit and then let us know. Thanks for watching Beyond Crime. If you enjoyed this episode and want to support more true crime content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Stay safe, and we'll see you next time.